Hello everyone, welcome back to the FetchQuest podcast where we talk about video games and more. I am your host Guy, joined by my fellow co-host Brewer.
Hey everybody, today we're going to be doing a bit of a simpler topic, but a very straightforward one. We're going to be talking about the monopoly that Steam has, or what has been dubbed as the Steam monopoly, because it has some controversy, but also it's very interesting because some people actually aren't all that upset about it, including us, and we will be getting into that now.
So there's been a recent study shown that most PC players for gaming, they have their primary launcher and store be Steam, with a overwhelming amount of about 85% of all users, which, for the most part, in like a normal standard competitive capitalist economy such as ours, that'd be a bad thing because that means Steam has so much leverage on the market of Steam games on PC. However, Steam is just such a good service that like everyone, us included, is just kind of okay with it and kind of support it low-key.
Yeah, no, because again, a monopoly, for those who don't know, is essentially just in, like, let's just say any product or availability in the market. So let's say for like chips, let's say Doritos were the only chips on the market for some reason, and there was no Sun Chips, there was no Lay's, there was no any of that because they've all been bought up by Doritos, and now you can only buy them. Many people will be upset by that, and that's not a good thing, and there's many more actually bad examples in the world, but I'm just trying to keep it nice and simple today. But for Steam, their monopoly feels a little different to us and a lot of other people because it's not like they've been purposely like buying up different companies and like, or doing some mergers that has made them into like the only product available on the market. Low-key, their competitors kind of just shoot themselves in the foot, and they're just like worse products overall.
Yeah, and a big reason for that is because Steam just has, like, from my understanding, Steam just has, like, a much better UI and store system compared to other stores. Now, that doesn't mean the other stores don't try to compete with them. The number one competitor, especially around the holidays, is Epic Games with their free games Winterfest thing, where it's like, you get 12 free games if you log in and claim them in enough time, but, like, yeah, people like to get the free games there, but it's also like, with Steam, not only is there just a crap ton of games you can choose from, but also there's just a lot of ways to get involved with the games that you might not have heard before, and also there's just a lot of different search engines to make the store like a very easy process to go through.
Well, I'd say yes and no, because I do feel like Steam has gotten very bloated over years, because Steam used to be like very stingy about what they add, and like now if you look at a lot of the new upcoming releases, there are like 5 porn games probably. But
yeah, no, that is bad. That is a bad example, but
no. In general, I feel like more than like the UI and whatnot, I feel like their attitude towards their customers is also just a lot better because they're not always offering free games, but also they're not doing it because they don't need to like beg us for it, because they have probably the best refund policy on the market, to where you have 2 weeks, and if you don't have more than 2 hours of playtime on like any game, you can return it, which, don't get me wrong, that is bad, especially for some indie developers for like very short games, because some people can't just like play the game and then return it. But for the most part, I feel like it's overall more of a benefit for everybody, especially the customer buying it. That in general, again, there's so many different examples of just them doing what's best for their customers instead of just like trying to fuck you over.
Yeah, it's very appealing. Like, going, like, surface level, when I first got Steam, I thought it was just awesome, like, hearing so much about it, especially the refund policy. Like, yeah, it still is a little strict, like, it's only a couple hours, and if you go past a certain point, you're screwed. But it is also just, like, hey, like, at least it gives me enough time to, like, test out the game. If it's just bad or doesn't run properly, I can just refund it and then leave a bad review explaining why. Like, it's actually really intuitive. I'm really a fan of it. Not only that, but, speaking of reviews, a really cool feature about Steam is that you will actually be notified and shown other friends on Steam their reviews of certain games and whether they recommend it or not. I haven't used this feature all too much, but I think one of the reasons why people like using Steam, even though it's a little more niche, is that there are just a lot of ways to get other people's opinions on certain games and understand where they're coming from. Like, I mean, you'll see it all the time on YouTube. Like, people will, if they're like nagging on games that might not have the greatest reviews, they'll go to Steam reviews or even just read Steam reviews just for like content. But like, that's the thing though. They go to that because of how much leverage these Steam reviews hold in the eyes for players playing these games. A lot of people don't pick up certain video games because it might be mixed in terms of reviews. Like, I know that was the case for Monster Hunter Wilds last year. A lot of people actually didn't want to pick up that game because of the PC performance issues and the middling reviews that came along with that, because of the public opinion that was provided through Steam.
Yeah, well, I think also just they also have a lot of other features as well that are just really appealing. Like, big thing that we've been using a lot is like Steam Family. Like, it's just so generous because like I share a library with Guy and then a couple other members of the podcast and then like one or two friends, and we can buy a game and then all of us have a copy of it. Now obviously we all can't use it at the same time, but it is generous, and as into, even though it's not a physical game and like a marketplace and I can't physically lend it to my friend, they still treat the purchase as valid as a physical game in that sense, as to where I can easily share the game with Guy. Like, if I buy a copy of like Balatro, he can play that copy of Balatro as long as I'm not using it, which is like same benefits of a physical game.
Well, there's kind of a meme that's been going on in our family. It's like, when one person buys one game, that's like, oh, thank you for buying this for me, or it's just something along those lines. I'm sure that's with other families as well, but like, no, it is like really intuitive. Like, dude, there are games that I have never played before that other friends in our Steam family have, that I've been able to play through that, and dude, it's so cool. Like Silent Hill 2, I've been playing a lot of that recently. I would not be able to play that at all if Liam was not in our Steam family, and I just don't really see that with other PC launchers and stores. That like the accessibility, the availability of video games for you to have is just like, it's kind of immeasurable. I'll be honest.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, and especially again, just how efficiently it works as well. Because again, all the other competitors, like, I see some reason to use them, but for the most part, Steam is just so straightforward. Epic Games, the only reason I feel like it has nearly as high of a player count as it does is just because there's so many people that want to play Fortnite, and it's only available on PC through Epic Games. If it was available on Steam, everyone would be playing on that. That, and also all their free games, but I do feel like to some degree there are a lot of people like me that do have Epic accounts, just because they log in, they get whatever free game they're offering for the week, and then just dip.
Look, I'll be honest, I think if they didn't have Fortnite be exclusive to the Epic Games Store, I actually think the Epic Games launcher would die.
Yeah, no, because again, even with the free games they're offering, just like, no one still really wants to use it. Just because Steam is just so user-friendly for the most part.
That doesn't mean everything about Steam is always good. Like, there's one thing that Charlie Moist Critical actually brought up in a video a couple months back, how he basically just said that one thing that's still a little like nitpicky about Steam, and I really agree with this, is kind of the UI and like trying to like see what friends you have. Like, the idea that you have to open up like a different tab to see what who your friends are, and also just like the UI for it is just not very cool. And it's also just like, it's in a weird space on the store itself, to where like it's in small text in the top left corner. It's like, why is it not tied to like my profile or something? Like, why can't I just see like who's active on it like at all time? You know what I mean? It's a little weird.
No, I do get you mean. It is weird. That in the invite system like has given us trouble before, especially like when we're just trying to boot up Elden Ring Night Rain. A lot of times, even though I can like directly accept it in in the game, sometimes I just end up needing to like press the Windows key and then manually open up the other tab to like accept the invite. It feels very obtuse at times.
Yeah, it's also really weird.
Odd. It's
yeah,
odd.
like I'll like this isn't even this isn't like a PC launcher, so it's kind of less valid on this. But it's like compared to something like Xbox, where if someone sends me a party invite or a game invite, I just have to press the Xbox button on my controller, and then boom, I'm immediately in. It's so simple. It's very efficient. So like they haven't mastered that yet, which I'm okay with, but it is something to point out where it's like, hey, we're glazing Steam, but like, hey, it ain't perfect, but nothing is.
Yeah, no, it is certainly just. It does have its kinks here and there, but for the most part, I feel like, again, people are just willing to put up with it because Steam is so much of a better service than all the other ones. I do see like some services that are like promising, especially like GOG offering like a lot of DRM free games, because in the age of like digital ownership, or you not really owning your digital purchases, I do really appreciate there being a storefront that like is more dedicated to having games that are yours, and there's no shitty DRM implemented into it that's preventing you from accessing your games. But for the most part, Steam still reigns supreme. That, and like, in all honesty, if you do use any of those services, or like, let's say also put the game on Epic Game Launcher, most studios still will put their games on Steam, or like it's kind of a necessity to, because any Epic exclusive that's ever been launched has like kind of just like basically had a death sentence, because the games will just not perform well on there.
It's not Fortnite.
Yeah, well, also just there's not going to be people that are like buying it to really support those studios, and then eventually it'll just go free on Epic Games anyways. And also, even if it was free, again, it's not Fortnite.
It's just not Fortnite, dude. Like, that's really sad to say, because, like, a lot of people have the mentality, like, hell, I've even fallen into this mentality of, yeah, I'm not going to buy this game on release, even though it looks really cool, because I know it's going to be in a Steam sale.
Yeah. I mean, it does definitely suck. On the other hand, though, it's like, I think about myself as well, and just, like, yeah, it does. I do want to support these developers all I can, but at the same time, it can just be difficult at times with like you have to worry about bills and other stuff. So unless if the game is like really for me, I'm not going to blame someone for just like waiting for a sale on the game.
Yeah, like we've talked about it before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you first. I'm sorry. I was going to say, hi there.
Hi. I was just going to say, like, yeah, definitely do everything you can to support your developers, but on the other hand, like, you are a customer buying their product, so if you feel like you should maybe just wait on a sale, there's really no shame in doing that.
Yeah, like, I've talked about this before in previous videos, where, like, I've really not paid for that many $70 video games. Like, I can only count 3 that I have ever paid for full price, that being God of War Ragnarok, Metaphor ReFantazio, and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Those are the only ones I can think of, because everything else I'm just going to wait for on a sale. So it's like, this isn't even just more so a Steam, like, PC thing. This is just more so like a, hey, I want to save my money kind of thing.
Definitely. Especially because, those Steam summer and winter sales go crazy.
Dude, I bought us 8 games for like $40. Like, that's awesome. Good ones too. Like, I got It Takes Two. I got A Way Out. I got Binding of Isaac. I got some other stuff too. Like, it was a good purchase I made.
I've gotten some really good games added to, like Shovel Knight, King of Cards, Nuclear Throne, along with a bunch of other games I got for like $10 because they were in a Humble Bundle that gives you a bunch of Steam codes.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We got a lot of Steam for the Humble Bundles.
I do think one last topic I want to bring up is the Steam Machine, which we don't know too much about yet because there's no confirmed release date, and especially with the RAM shortages because of AI, we don't really know what the pricing is going to look on that. But I do kind of wonder what we're going to see with the Steam Marketplace in general once the Steam Machine launches.
Yeah, it's like I'm glad that Valve is branching out and making Steam more accessible to like a console player base as well, which I think is always cool. But it is just like, damn, like Steam is just really that big in terms of like PC gaming that are like, yeah, we're just gonna do this now. Which I mean makes sense. Like Valve, they for those who don't know, Valve used to be primarily a video game developer company in charge of some very good hits like Half-Life, Half-Life 2, and the Portal series. But switched over to their primary focus being on Steam once they launched it. And I'm gonna be real, like, I see why they don't make games anymore. They get so much money off of Steam, there's no point making video games.
I will say, though, if they have developed the Half-Life 3 and it's a Steam exclusive, Steam machines would sell crazy.
It would sell crazy. I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be really cool as like an exclusive thing. Like kind of like a Mario kind of thing with Nintendo, or your Kratos with PlayStation and your Master Chief for Xbox, but not so much anymore. I can't even use an example anymore. Holy shit!
I was about to say with those two, they're both on Steam,
which is so funny.
Yeah, well, it is kind of interesting in that way that how Steam or just the PC market in general interacts with like consoles, because while God of War is, and not Halo, but while God of War at least is staying on PlayStation console wise, they have ported that and a lot of the other PlayStation exclusives to Steam, and like, yeah, people are still buying on console a lot, so like it kind of works in harmony in that way, because the player bases and the markets aren't really affecting each other all that much, because I feel like the PC market is just separate enough, but still reaches that like itch for like what the customer wants, that you kind of just benefit in both ways when you have it in like console and PC.
No, it is cool. Like, again, I still don't understand why people are like iffy about exclusives being a thing, but like less exclusives is just better. And I'm like, Steam is like a really big like driver home in terms of like PlayStation moving like into a PC direction, because after like a year, like the PlayStation games just get put on Steam, which I'm okay with. I think it's really cool. That just means more players are able to play games that they're not going to be able to unless you want to spend $500 on a console that you might not use as much.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no. I don't know about you, but I feel like we're approaching that time. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think we've covered a great point, because this was just a quick little video of just some of our thoughts in general on this monopoly. Because again, it's very weird. Most of the times, like, you know, I feel like I have that revolutionist in me. Down with the monopolies and those capitalist pigs. Steam, though, I don't care. Like, I really don't care. Gabe, go keep running Steam the way you are, and I won't have any complaints. I love the Steam summer sales. I keep buying too many games for my backlog, and that's about it. I don't use Epic Games because it kind of blows.
No, that's completely fair. I was gonna say like some of my last points. Yeah, usually like a monopoly is really bad, and there actually are laws in place to like make sure a monopoly doesn't happen. But like, it's really ironic. Monopolies happen when companies outbuy other companies, and eventually they just become one conglomerate and have control over the market, so that the prices can fluctuate to their discretion. The thing is about Steam, though, is that like they built their own monopoly by just being goated. Like, they were consumer friendly, hence why they became a monopoly, which is something that like I don't think we will ever see ever in terms of like a market for something, which is just crazy.
Yeah, because again, why would I not choose Steam over its competitors that keep deciding to shoot themselves in the foot every other minute?
Guys, we have Hogwarts Legacy!
Yeah, but occasionally offer me free games like Hogwarts Legacy.
Guys, we have Bloons Tower Defense 6 for free, please! Okay, actually, but that game is goated, though. Please go get it.
Yeah, but you can also get it for super cheap on Steam.
Fuck, you're right.
Yeah, our Steam family library has like 4 copies of it already.
And we need more copies, just cause that game is awesome. But yeah no. if you like this kind of content, please hit that like button and subscribe button if you want to see more content like it. Comment down below your thoughts on the monopoly that Steam has built for itself and what it means for the gaming market, especially the PC market. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. We've been FetchQuest, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. See ya!
Bye, everybody.